The little girl stood barefoot at the edge of the amusement park, clutching a cloud of white cotton candy that was slowly melting onto her fingers, her eyes fixed on the female police officer as if she were the last safe place left in the world. The words she had spoken moments earlier were simple, almost childlike, but they landed with the weight of a lifetime of absence, loss, and quiet longing. She did not ask for money or food or protection. She asked for one day, one ordinary day, because she did not have a mama. If you believe that kindness can change a life, if you believe in second chances and unexpected human connections, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Grandma Dearie. Your small action helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. The police officer had been assigned to crowd control that evening, standing under the warm glow of carousel lights while laughter and music floated through the air. She had seen hundreds of children run past her, dragging parents by the hand, faces painted with joy and sugar. But this child was different. Her clothes were clean but worn thin, her jacket a size too big, her shoes scuffed from long walks. There was a quiet maturity in her posture, the kind that children only develop when they learn early that no one is coming to save them. The officer noticed how the girl kept glancing back toward the parking lot, as if checking on someone who might disappear if she looked away for too long. The girl was the daughter of a janitor who worked nights in the city mall. Her father cleaned floors that shone under bright lights by morning, but his own life had lost its shine years ago when illness took his wife. Since then, he had done everything he could to be both parents at once, but exhaustion clung to him like dust. He brought his daughter to work when he could not afford childcare, seating her on benches, giving her coloring books, trusting security cameras and routine to keep her safe. That evening, he had brought her to the amusement park on his night off, hoping to give her something close to a normal childhood memory. But when he was called away briefly to help with a spill near the restrooms, the girl wandered, her small heart drawn toward the uniform that represented safety and strength. The officer knelt in front of her, noticing the way the child's hand trembled slightly as she held onto the cotton candy stick. There was no training manual for moments like this, no protocol for what to do when a child's loneliness reached out and wrapped itself around your own hidden wounds. The officer herself carried quiet scars, years of long shifts, broken homes she could not fix, and the knowledge that her own dreams of motherhood had slowly faded under the weight of duty and time. She listened as the girl explained her world in fragments, not with dramatic words, but with innocent honesty that made it harder to bear. As the evening stretched on, the officer did something she rarely allowed herself to do. She stayed. She requested permission to take a short break, bending rules that were usually rigid, and sat beside the girl on a bench near the carousel. The music circled them, horses rising and falling, lights spinning in soft blurs. The girl leaned closer, not touching, but close enough to feel warmth. For the first time in a long while, the officer felt useful in a way that had nothing to do with authority or enforcement. She bought the child another cotton candy when the first dissolved completely, and they watched the rides together, sharing silent smiles and gentle laughter. The night did not magically fix anything. The girl still had no mother waiting at home. The officer still had to return to her patrol, but something shifted in the space between them. The child's shoulders relaxed, her eyes brighter, as if being seen had filled a place that had been empty for too long. When the father returned, panic written across his face, the officer reassured him, not with judgment, but with understanding. She saw his shame, his fear of failing his daughter, and she met it with respect instead of suspicion. In the days that followed, the memory of that evening refused to fade. The officer found herself thinking about the girl during quiet moments, wondering how many other children carried silent grief through crowded places. She reached out through proper channels, connecting the family with community resources, after-school programs, and support they did not know how to ask for. The father, overwhelmed but grateful, accepted help slowly, pride softening into relief. The girl began to smile more at school, teachers noticing a change they could not explain. Weeks later, on another patrol near the park, the officer spotted a familiar small figure waving enthusiastically from a bench, her father standing nearby. The girl ran over, no longer hesitant, no longer afraid to hope. That day did not belong to rules or uniforms or titles. It belonged to the simple truth that one act of kindness can echo far beyond the moment it is given. The officer realized that being a protector did not always mean stopping danger. Sometimes it meant standing still long enough for someone to feel less alone. As the seasons changed, their paths crossed occasionally, never in ways that broke boundaries, but always with warmth. The girl grew, carrying with her the memory of a day when the world felt softer. The officer carried the reminder that her presence mattered in ways she had never been trained to measure. Neither of them became something else overnight, but both of them became something more. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that compassion can appear in uniform or in silence, please take a moment near the end of this video to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Grandma Dearie. Your engagement helps spread stories that heal. And before this story ends, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and tell us what kindness means to you, or share a moment when a stranger made your world feel safer. Your words might be the light someone else is searching for, because sometimes one day is enough to change a life.